The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, Longman Simplified English Series, read by Suriya Thongmak. Chapter 5 The Cruel Outlaws. The harder Tom tried to fasten his mind on his book, the more his ideas wandered, so at last, with a sigh and a yawn, he gave it up. It seemed to him that the noon interval would never come. The air was utterly dead. There was not a breath of air stirring. It was the sleepiest of sleepy days. Away in the flaming sunshine, Cardiff Hill lifted its soft, green sides through a veil of heat purple with distance. A few birds fluttered on lazy wings high in the air. No other living things were visible, except some cows. And they were asleep. Tom's heart ached to be free, or to have something of interest to do to pass the weary time. At last the morning lessons ended, and Tom flew to Becky Thatcher. They sat together, with an exercise book before them, and Tom gave Becky the pencil and held her hand in his, guiding it, and so created another surprising house. Tom was in heaven. "Do you like rats?" he said. "No, I hate them." "Well, I do. Two live ones, but I mean dead ones, to swing around your head with a piece of string." "No, I don't care for rats much. What I like is chewing gum." "Oh, I wish I had some now." "Do you?" "I've got some." "We'll share it." So Becky handed Tom his share, and they sat chewing happily. "Have you ever been to a circus?" asked Tom. "Yes, and my father's going to take me again sometime, if I'm good. I've been to a circus 3 or 4 times, lots of times. I'm going to be a lion tamer when I grow up." "Oh, are you? That will be nice." "They look lovely dressed up in uniforms." "Yes, that's so. And they get a lot of money, almost $1 a day." Ben Roger says, "I say, Becky, please tell me that you won't have any friend but me, and that when we're coming to school or going home, you'll always walk with me, and I'll choose you at parties, and you choose me." "That sounds nice, doesn't it?" "Why, Amy Lawrence and I—" Becky's big eyes told Tom of his mistake, and he stopped confused. "Oh, Tom, you like Amy Lawrence more than me?" The child began to try. Tom said, "Don't try, Becky. I don't care for her any more." "Yes, you do, Tom. You know you do." Tom tried to comfort her, but she pushed him away, and went on trying. Tom stood about, restless and uneasy. Then he said hesitatingly, "Becky, I don't care for anybody but you." She did not reply. "Becky, won't you say anything?" Becky's tears continued to flow. Tom got out his cheap jewel and brass door handle and held it out so that she could see it. "Please, Becky, won't you take it?" She struck it to the floor. Then Tom marched off and over the hills and far away to return to the school no more that day. Half an hour later, Tom was disappearing behind Window Douglas' house on the top of Cardiff Hill, and the school was hardly visible far away in the valley below him. He entered a thick wood, picked his way to the center of it, and sat down under a spreading oak tree. He sat for a long time with his elbows on his knees and his chin in his hands. It seemed to him that life was full of trouble. He remembered a school friend who had died recently. It must be very peaceful, he thought, to lie and sleep and dream forever and ever, with the wind whispering through the trees and over the grass and flowers of the grave, and nothing to grieve about anymore. If he only had a good Sunday school record, he might be willing to go. Now as to this girl, he has been very nice to her, and had been treated like a dog. She would be sorry some day, perhaps, when it was too late. Oh, if he could die just for a short time. Just then, the sound of a toy tin horn came faintly through the forest. Tom threw off his coat, raked away some dead branches from behind a rotten log, revealing a bow and arrow, a wooden sword, and a tin horn, and in a moment had seized these things and leaped away. He soon stopped under a great tree, blew an answering note, and began to tiptoe and look cautiously out this way and that. He said softly to an imaginary company, "Keep still, my merrymen, keep hidden till I blow." Joe Harper now appeared, dressed and armed as Tom. "Stop!" called Tom. "Who comes here into Sherwood Forest without my permission?" "I, a knight, need no man's permission. What villain dares address me with such insolence?" said Tom, reminding him, for they were using the words of one of their favorite books, The Adventures of Robin Hood. "What villain dares address with such insolence? I, Robin Hood, as your proud body soon shall know." "That famous outlaw? Gladly will I fight you. Guard yourself." They drew their swords, faced each other, foot to foot, with swords crossed, and began to stern, careful fight. Presently, Tom said, "Now you know how to do it. Let us fight faster." So they fought faster, breathing heavily and sweating with the work. Soon Tom shouted, "Fall! Fall! Why don't you fall?" "I won't." "Why don't you fall yourself? You're getting the worst of it." "Why? That's nothing. I can't fall." "It's not like that in the book. The book says, 'Then with one back-headed blow he killed the proud knight.' You have to turn round and let me hit you in the back." It was impossible to contradict the book, so Joe turned, received the blow, and fell. "Now," said Joe, getting up, "you've got to let me kill you. That's fair." "Why?" "I can't do that. It's not in the book." "Well, I call that very unfair." "Well, Joe, I'll be the sheriff on Nottingham, and you'll be Robin Hood a little while and kill me." This was satisfactory, and so these scenes were acted. Then Tom became Robin Hood again, and lay dying, the blood flowing from his neglected wound. And at last Joe, representing a whole tribe of weeping outlaws, dragged him sadly out and put the bow into his weak hands. Tom said, "Where this arrow falls, they bury poor Robin Hood." Then he shot the arrow and fell back, and would have died, but he landed on some thorns and sprang up too gladly for the dead body. The boys dressed themselves, hid their weapons, and went off grieving that there were no outlaws anymore. They said that they would rather be outlaws for a year in Sherwood Forest than President of the United States forever.